Faumuina Tulitai Mafaufau. David Tua, best known as David Tua, is a Samoan-New Zealand former professional boxer who competed from 1992 to 2013. A highly ranked heavyweight contender for most of his career, Tua was known for his formidable punching power, especially in his devastating left hook. He scored 16 wins by knockout in the first round, which included knockouts of world heavyweight champions John Ruiz and Michael Moorer within 30 seconds of the first round, as well as late stoppages of world champions Oleg Maskaev and Hasim Rahman. He was ranked by BoxRec in the world's top 10 heavyweights from 1996 to 2003, reaching his highest ranking of number 3 in 1998. Tua ended his career with a knockout-to-win ratio of 82.6%. In a 2003 article by The Ring magazine, Tua was ranked 48th on a list of 100 greatest punchers of all time. Nicknamed the Twalminator, his fast-paced bob and weave pressure fighting style has often drawn comparisons to Mike Tyson. Tua fought many of the best boxers of his era, and challenged once for the unified world heavyweight title against Lennox Lewis in 2000. In his 5 professional losses, Tua was never subject to a stoppage, and possessed one of the most durable chins of his time. Tua said that he lived with 4 brothers, 4 sisters, and 10 other relatives while growing up. Tua said that his mother worked 3 jobs, and Tua said that his father worked long hours. Tua said that his father forced him to start boxing when he was 7 years old, and Tua said that he is grateful to his father for introducing him to boxing. In his early career, Tua trained 3 days a week at a small gym in Monterey Bridge, under boxing trainer Jerry Preston. Tua became New Zealand national heavyweight champion in 1988 at age 15. At the age of 19, Tua won a bronze medal at the 1992 Summer Olympics in Barcelona. He lost his semi-final to David Tua, whom he would later knock out as a professional. Tua turned professional later the same year. Tua debuted in December 1992. Of his first 27 fights, 23 were won by knockout. In Tua's 1997 fight against Ike Ibebuchi, the 2 fighters combined to set the record for most punches thrown in a heavyweight fight on record. Ibebuchi won the decision, handing Tua his first professional loss. Prior to this, Tua had scored devastating knockouts against future titlist John Ruiz, via first-round KO, in only 19 seconds, and Darrell Wilson. Tua also beat David Tua and future champion Oleg Maskaev to set up the fight with Ibebuchi. After the loss to Ibebuchi, Tua took on future champ Hasim Rahman, and TKO'd Rahman in the 10th round. The victory over Rahman marked the beginning of Tua's struggles with his weight. He ballooned up to 253 pounds when he defeated Obed Sullivan in 2000 by KO. Later that year, he weighed 245 pounds in the loss to Lennox Lewis. Tua was disappointing in the fight, with both fighters avoiding each other, and Tua not throwing combinations. Tua lost a clear-cut decision. The fight with Lewis was for the WBC, IBF, and EBO heavyweight titles, and took place in November 2000. Tua lost on points by a wide margin. Following the Lewis loss, Tua regained steam with a KO over Donnell Nicholson but lost by a close decision in his next fight to future champion Chris Bird. In 2002 he beat prospect Fres Oquendo, and demolished Michael Moorer in his next fight with a powerful shot 30 seconds into the first round, which put Moorer out cold. In 2003 he drew in a 12-round rematch with Rahman. Tua was inactive for over 2 years before he stepped into the ring on March 31, 2005, and bested Talmadge Griffiths in a 10-round bout, ending the match, and earning a TKO victory with 26 seconds remaining. Tua's next contest in October 2005 ended in a split decision over Cease Salif with Tua dominating in the late rounds. Tua defeated Edward Gutierrez by knockout in the 4th round of a scheduled 10-rounder on July 26, 2006. The fight was held at the Manhattan Center Ballroom in New York City, and featured on ESPN2. Tua started slowly, scored a knockdown with his famous left hook in the 2nd round, and put Gutierrez down for the count in the 4th round with a combination of 2 left hooks, one to the head, and the decisive one to the body. In November 2006 Tua defeated Maurice Wheeler in the 7th round of a scheduled 10-rounder by knockout. Tua ended the bout with a solid left uppercut to the body which immediately sent the howling Wheeler to the canvas. Tua continued his comeback in February 2007 with a unanimous decision over Robert Hawkins in a 10-round bout. Tua ended the match being the aggressor, and hurt Hawkins in both the 9th and 10th rounds with body punches, but was unable to end the match with a knockout. Tua, looking in good shape, and weighing in at 237.5 pounds, his lightest fight weight since 2001, was featured as the main event of a pay-per-view show on August 18, 2007 in Sandy, Utah, and ended the bout quickly with the first-round knockout of Mexican champion Saul Montana. Tua threw two powerful left hooks to the head that sent Montana sprawling to the canvas, giving Tua his sixth win in a row. Tua, again looking in good shape, and weighing in at 234 pounds, fought the unheralded Saron Fox at the Soaring Eagle Casino, Mount Pleasant, Michigan on September 7, 2007. Tua made short work of his overmatched opponent, ending the bout at 1:41 of the second round. While Tua's promoter, Cedric Kushner, stated Tua was scheduled to fight an opponent on October 18, 2007, the fight never materialized. Tua fought fellow New Zealander Shane Cameron at Mystery Creek, Hamilton on October 3, 2009, with Tua knocking Cameron out 7 seconds into the second round to pick up the WBO Asia Pacific and Oriental heavyweight titles. The promoters for the fight were John McCrae and David Higgins of Duco Events. The fight had been scheduled for an earlier date, but was delayed due to Cameron having surgery on a fractured hand. On March 31, 2010, Tua fought Friday Hunania, winning on points after 12 rounds. The fight promoters for this fight were again John McCrae and David Higgins of Duco Events. The Tua Barrett fight had been tentatively scheduled for 26th of June in Sao Paulo, Brazil. However, the fight was moved to 17th of July at the Tropicana Casino and Resort in Atlantic City in a bid to promote David Tua's career in the United States. At 38 years old, Monty Barrett, 34-9, 20 KOs, was viewed by some as an easy opponent for Tua as he had lost his previous 3 fights. The match was a controversial draw, with Tua being knocked down for the first time in his professional career late in the 12th round. Tua fought Demetrius King on March 19, 2011. Tua defeated King by unanimous decision with the scores of 100-91, 100-91, and 100-90. Tua's rematch against Monty Barrett on August 13, 2011 resulted in a unanimous points decision going in favor of Barrett. The judges scored the bout 113-112, 115-112, and 115-112. In December 2011, it emerged that Monty Barrett tested positive for banned stimulant methylhexanamine following a urine test after his 13th of August points decision over Tua. Tua's lawyer, Blair Edwards, called for action against the 40-year-old New Yorker, requesting the return of Tua's WBO Asia Pacific and Oriental titles, and the restoration of ranking points. In June 2013, it was confirmed that Tua was once again getting back into the ring. Belarusian Alexander Ustinov defeated him by unanimous points decision, following which he announced his retirement from professional boxing. Ringside Report were mixed in their evaluation of his career, referring to him as one of the best heavyweights never to win a world title. On October 10, 1992, Tua appeared on the New Zealand version of the game show Wheel of Fortune. He had asked for a no for Olsen, possibly a reference to Olsen Filipina, but this was heard by some, and widely reported, as O for Awesome. He requested P when buying a vowel on the same episode. He was also heard to ask if he could buy a consonant during the same show. From 1992 to 2003, Tua was managed by former boxer Kevin Barry, who also trained him from 2001. But in 2003, Tua ended his business relationship with Barry and financial manager Martin Pugh. Though Barry accepted his dismissal as trainer, he resisted Tua's decision to end their contract, which still had 2 years to go. In 2004, Tua's accountant learned that the boxer's finances with his boxing company, Rahman Incorporated, Limited, were tangled with company expenses. Tua no longer has most of his 20 million New Zealand dollars in purses from his professional matches, and important assets Tua thought he owned alone were anything but, including a piece of coastal land at Pakiri. Rahman Incorporated, Limited had business expenses flowing in various directions, involving companies and clients Tua had no knowledge of. Tua's own home was purchased with borrowed money, and the boxer's purses were linked to renovation costs for Martin Pugh's property. These findings were based on documents from Pugh's offices. In 2005, Tua took Kevin Barry and Martin Pugh to court over their business arrangements. Barry and Pugh accused Tua of manipulating them to collect revenue, yet Tua maintained that he knew little of the men's affairs, and did what they told him to do out of trust. The dispute gave both sides legal victories. Over the issue of the coastal land property, the court ruled in favor of Barry and Pugh, since Tua failed to properly clarify his ownership over the land. On the issue of the terminated 2003 contract, the court ruled in Tua's favor, concluding he clearly owed no expenses to his former management from that contract. In October 2009, it was reported in the New Zealand Herald that the parties had settled all previously unresolved matters arising from the protracted litigation. In May 2007, Cedric Kushner, president of Gotham Boxing Incorporated, and Tua's promoter, filed a $5 million lawsuit against IBF heavyweight champion Vladimir Klitschko, and promoter Shelley Finkel among others, and while the lawsuit is unrelated to Tua, Kushner has stated he will drop the lawsuit if Tua is given a title bout against Klitschko in 2008, which ultimately failed to materialize. In September 2009, Tua's aunt was killed in the Samoa tsunami. In early October he traveled to Samoa with cousin Vaiga Tuigamala to see how they could help. In the 2019 Queen's Birthday Honours, Tua was appointed an Officer of the New Zealand Order of Merit, for services to youth, boxing, and the community, having previously been appointed a member of the New Zealand Order of Merit, for services to boxing, in the 2001 New Year Honours. In 1996, Tua was honoured by the country of Tuvalu, with a stamp commemorating the 1996 Summer Olympic Games in Atlanta, Georgia, United States bearing Tua's likeness, and name on it. Tua is mentioned in an episode of the animated series Family Guy, when character Stewie draws Tua's likeness on a wall. In 2020, he is seen to be in a gathering opposing the legalization of recreational use of cannabis. Tua has a professional record of 59 fights, with 52 wins, 5 losses, and 2 draws.